everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of 4 Down Territory, and we have a special guest today, Paris, don't we?
We do.
Mr. K is here with us to talk about Powder Puff today and go over the 4 topics today. How you doing, Mr. K?
This has been a dream of mine since episode 1 to be on the 4 Down Territory podcast. You guys have been crushing it, so thanks for inviting me to be on.
It is our pleasure. We're actually honored to have you on today. We really appreciate you being here.
Crazy stuff goes down here.
Yeah, crazy stuff does go down here.
I've heard.
Tony Romo is still a quarterback.
I heard that rumor too.
Yeah.
We break news here every week on 4 Down Territory. Tony Romo no longer a thing.
We're going to go to the first topic here. Tyrod Taylor. This is a topic that's going to get me really angry, all right? So the Bills, joke franchise, garbage, no respect, have decided to bench former starting QB Tyrod Taylor for rookie QB Nathan Peterman, who went in the 4th round. I'm sure any casual NFL fan that doesn't tune in that much is going to have no idea who this guy is. The only reason I know him is because the Jags were high on him last year in the draft because I guess he did some kind of pregame interview or something like that. They liked him, but they didn't get to him in time. And then, so Tyrod Taylor, I don't even know what to say because the Bills, they've hated him since ownership. I don't remember the owner's name that died. It was Ralph something. And
Ralph Wilson, yeah.
Ralph Wilson. When he died, new ownership took over. Rex Ryan was out the door. That's it. They hated Taylor. They wanted to trade him last offseason, but they were asking for an unreasonable price. They wanted a 1st and 2nd round. No team in their right mind is going to give up 2 first, round picks. There's too much there, especially in last year's draft. And they were 5-4. They were 5-4. They were rushing to the playoffs. They had an easy schedule up ahead, but yet they decide to take Tyrod Taylor out, and he was throwing for 1,600 yards, 64.2 completion percentage. That's all you need out of a quarterback. You don't need a Tom Brady stats. And Tom Brady's 1 in a million. Tyrod Taylor doesn't need to be that kind of quarterback. I want to know your guys' opinions before I get too much into this. Paris, take it away.
I've seen it with other QBs. One that I don't like his name as much. It's not Tony Romo, but
that's what I thought you were going to say.
Where the team, they just hate you so much that they don't want to give you much of a career anymore. Do you know who I'm talking about?
RG3?
Yeah, it's RG3 actually. But if a team doesn't like you, you probably should leave. He should really consider getting out of that team.
Well, his contract is up after this year, so he will be a free agent, meaning any team can sign him next year. And so far,
maybe the Ravens should get him because Flacco's not doing much.
So Flacco's an elite quarterback. Isn't he an elite quarterback?
Yeah. That's what people say, right?
So I'm going to agree and disagree with you here, Nicholas. So I think Tyrod Taylor is not any good, but I don't see any benefit to benching him right now. As you said, they're 5-4.
Okay, yeah.
They're in the thick of the playoff race. The AFC is wide open. That division, besides New England, is wide open. There's no, stellar team besides the Patriots in the AFC East. I don't understand how a team turns to a guy who I think all 3 of us have never heard of until Tuesday to be their quarterback. And obviously we don't see what Nathan Peterman does in practice, and maybe they like him and he gives them a different energy than Tyrod Taylor does. But if you're that team who's been kind of built around Tyrod Taylor running around and getting out of the pocket and LaShawn McCoy doing his thing, I don't – it's a very strange time of the year. Something behind the scenes has to be going on. I feel like it's like a Jay Ajayi situation where the team just got so sick of the player for some reason that – whether it's on field or off the field, that they just had to move on. But very strange at 5-4 to do this. I think that's been the vibe around the NFL too.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the point that I was trying to get at there. They had such chemistry on that offense. LaShawn McCoy, Tyrod Taylor running around, throwing the football. Now, I don't agree with you on the fact that you say he's not a good quarterback. I think he's a decent enough quarterback that if you put him on the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, forget Bortles. Get Bortles out of there. You put Tyrod Taylor in right now, that team wins the rest of their schedule because it's an easy schedule. We got the Browns this week, Cardinals after that. Cardinals are nobody. Indy, you put Tyrod Taylor on that team, you give him Marquise Lee, D.D. Westbrook's coming back. Leonard Fournette, he could get the job done. It's just in Buffalo, there was just too much beef and heat backstage that just was not allowing him to do that.
I just think there's a section of the NFL population that thinks that Tyrod Taylor is like a top, I think, 12 quarterback maybe. I don't think he's that good. I think he's probably in the 20 range, but but he's better. He's done more than Nathan Peterman has, and I don't know what Nathan Peterman brings to the table, but we'll find out on Sunday.
Nathan Peterman hasn't even thrown a pass, and they're just taking this guy out. I don't understand. We're gonna move on to the college football update because this is my favorite topic. A little more peaceful topic to talk
I
about.
just want to talk about Clemson, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. There we go.
Oh, Clemson.
Okay. Hold on. Let's jump back for a minute because Mr. K's whole opinion on that was he does not like mobile quarterbacks. He likes pocket passers. Back to college football. The new rankings are out, and here is how they stand: Alabama at 1, Clemson 2, Miami 3, Oklahoma 4, Wisconsin 5, Auburn 6, Georgia 7, Notre Dame 8, Ohio State 9. And Penn State 10, but at number 10, I don't see Penn State finding a way back in. They got to win that whole Big Ten championship. No, not happening. So I think it's safe to say the last 9 teams there are gonna be with like 2 games left. Championship game upcoming. This is it right here. All of these 10 teams, someone's gonna fall. I guarantee that those top 4 are not gonna stay that way. A lot of big games coming up. Wisconsin taking on Michigan. Alabama's got to take on Auburn before the season's over, so good luck with that. And, wow, guys, college football has been absolutely crazy this year. Mr. K, I go to you first. What do you think?
Yeah, it's been a wild last couple of weeks, and it's about to get wilder. Like you said, out of those top 10, 6 of those teams play each other the rest of the way. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cluttered right now, and it is, but a lot of stuff's going to get taken care of over the next couple of weeks. So, Auburn, Alabama, and Miami and Clemson. Give me your take on Miami Clemson. That's going to be
Miami Clemson scares me deeply. It makes
should scare you deeply
because Clemson is not the same team as they were last year. Yeah, the defensive line is fantastic. The secondary is not what it was. Cordrea Tankersley is with the Dolphins now. So who are the Dolphins? Clemson is just not. We've literally inched our way past games this year. And Miami has just blown out every opponent they've had. So it's going to be close. I think the defense is going to keep us in the game. Can Kelly Bryant get the job done? Can he step up and be the quarterback we need him to be? Because right now, these inching past games isn't going to win a championship. You gotta make a statement, and that's how you make a statement in the ACC championship. Paris, I go to you. What do you think of college football right now?
All right. So I don't really watch college football, but I did tune in Saturday to one game in Georgia versus Auburn. That I don't know. You guys might disagree with me, but I just don't think when it's defense and defense going at it, I just don't find it entertaining. They were just destroying each other's offense. It's just lucky that Auburn got out with the win at that point.
I think the first 2 quarters were a little boring, and that's the thing about college football too. Is a little bit longer than NFL because they stop every time they got to move the chains. They stop the clock. So yeah, but after the third quarter came out, I think Auburn started to get on a roll, 40-10, and then it just got extremely non-entertaining.
I'm going to scare you more about Miami here, Nick. So I think of all the teams I've seen, I've seen all the top 10 teams play here. I think they've probably been the most. This is a bold statement, I guess, with Alabama there, but they've probably been the most impressive team. Now, the competition hasn't necessarily been the same, obviously, in the ACC versus Alabama's schedule in the SEC, but their offense, the Miami offense, is explosive. And Alabama has NFL talent everywhere too, but they just play more methodical style, and they just wear you down over time. Miami is just flying around the field on both sides, and obviously, if Deshaun Watson's there, that's a different story. But as you said, this is going to be the
thing I like
about for Kelly Bryant here.
Right.
We'll see how he pans out.
The thing I like about our chances too is that if we can just get past let's say this top 4 is what we got right now: Alabama versus Oklahoma, Clemson versus Miami. If Clemson finds a way to get through Miami, however they possibly do that, and let's say Alabama takes down Oklahoma, Alabama almost lost to Mississippi State. They were like 5 seconds away from losing. A Hail Mary would have ended their season. So, well, maybe not ended their season, but it's shaking things up for their playoff chances. But yeah, Alabama is a very beatable team, and I think whether it's Clemson or Miami that gets there, or anybody behind, I think Alabama can easily go down.
Oh, absolutely. I
in
think
the
this isn't your
championship.
classic Alabama. Any of the 4 teams, I give probably all of them a 25% chance to win. I don't think there's one team that everyone's going to be going to, saying,
Right.
oh, wow, this team's definitely the favorite going into the playoff. I think Oklahoma's been impressive, but I think the Big 12 is always suspect because no one plays defense in the Big 12. And
Right.
Oklahoma
Yeah, exactly,
obviously is the cream of the crop, but who else have they, really played besides Ohio State? So, I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be a wild finish.
You know what I think too is that a lot of people are starting to take Miami as their favorites to win the championship, and as a Clemson fan, I think I'm taking Miami too. Just from watching all the tape and stuff like that, Miami's the real deal, man.
Talent, if you're going on talent alone, Miami's right there. But again, it's I'm not going to count Alabama out yet, obviously, because they're
Yeah, exactly.
They're the
You
best,
never want to count out
Are they
Alabama.
number 1 in every single rankings?
They are.
Yep.
AP
Oh, wow.
poll, everything. But it's a fluke though because they almost lost. I'm telling you. Powder Puff. That is the real reason that Mr. K is here today. Mr. K, Jonathan Law's coach. You're an assistant coach, correct?
Yes,
Assistant coach of the Powder Puff team. Last year was a hard-fought year. The ending didn't really go our way, but how does that change this year? Tell us how we're looking.
We're looking good. This year has been different already. We because of the success of all our fall sports teams here, which was amazing. We got off to kind of a late start. We just started on Monday, and the game's next Tuesday. But the girls have been awesome at practice these first 3 days, taking in a lot of information, installing everything on offense and defense, and working out some special team stuff today. And it's been a whirlwind, and it's been a lot of information thrown at them. But we have some ridiculous athletes in this junior and senior class. And they've picked everything up really quickly, and we've started scrimmaging the last couple of days, and we look really good. We got a lot of speed on both sides of the ball, a lot of toughness on both sides of the ball. So Powder Puff's always about speed and grit and who kind of wants it the most, and we're off to a good start. So now we just gotta keep getting our work in, getting our reps in, and get ready for next Tuesday.
I also want to shout out to the Jonathan Law Fall Sports. You guys really did amazing this year. You guys put Jonathan Law back on the map where we belong, and also too, I can't wait to see what winter sports brings to the table. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. But one question I have for you, Mr. K, didn't realize I was going to be interviewing you. But yeah, I just want to know. Foreign has an extremely tough team. As recent history shows, Powder Puff is one of the most physical games of the year. How can you prepare these girls for the toughness that they're about to face on Tuesday?
I think they see it every day at practice. I mean, we have a tough squad too. Foreign last year, they were big and they were strong, and they pushed us around in some spots. And I think we have that that taste left over in our mouth too of what it takes. Now we had a lot of kids playing the game for the first year. Last year, I think it's always a challenge. I mean, it's one thing to do it in practice, but on game night, that intensity level just ramps up, and our goal as coaches is to get them ready for that intensity. And this group has been chopped a bit from last. I mean, kids coming up talking, since the beginning of the year about Powder Puff, just because they want to, avenge last year's result. It was a tough game last year. We played well. We just we lost on a long field goal, and
The
it
defense
is
was
what it is. Yeah,
fantastic.
the defense was fantastic last year. So, and almost our entire defense is returning this year too. So, we're ready to get a little revenge next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. We're going to move on to a traditional topic here.
Hold on. When's the game?
The game is Tuesday night. As of right now, there's a little flex day in there, so we don't lose anything with the weather. So if it looks bad on Tuesday night, then it would be Wednesday night. But as of right now, Tuesday night, 6 o'clock at Foreign, and we'll see everybody out there.
All right. So now we're going to move on to that traditional topic I was talking about. NFL Week 11 preview. There's a huge week ahead for us, gentlemen, starting with the Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They play tonight, but by the time you're hearing this, the game will have already happened, so you'll get to hear if we make good picks or bad picks. We need, as a Jags fan, we need the Titans to lose tonight, so this is the one time a year I have to root for the Steelers, and then we're back to enemies. But we also have the Rams going to Minnesota, both 7-2 teams looking to make a statement. There's a huge, maybe even a playoff preview. And then we have the Redskins traveling to the Superdome to take on Drew Brees and the red-hot New Orleans Saints. But the Redskins are 4-6, so you might be saying, why is this a big game? The Redskins are getting a lot of players back from injury. That means in my personal opinion, I think when the Redskins are healthy, they are a strong team. They're stronger than they look. I think that this will be one of the most aggressive games this weekend that you will see from either team. And then Sunday Night Football, hooray! We finally got a good primetime game. No more Patriots-Broncos blowouts. Eagles and Cowboys. Shout out to Andrew. He's actually going to Dallas this weekend to see the game, which is actually, I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. He's a Cowboys fan, so go Eagles. And then, here we go, boys. Monday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, and both teams with 6 wins, both racing to the playoffs. Let's make some game picks here, boys. Titans versus Steelers. Who you got, Mr. K?
You were gonna be rooting for the Steelers tonight, huh? I guess
I
you
am
have
gonna be
to.
rooting for the Steelers.
I think you're gonna be rooting for the winner. I think the Steelers at home. I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game. I think neither defense is that great, but I think the Tennessee pass defense is pretty weak, and it's gonna be a lot of Antonio Brown tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you have him on your fantasy team, and Steelers by a couple touchdowns tonight.
You stole my prediction extremely. Antonio Brown is going to have a huge night against the Titans. They have no corners to defend him. So let's go Steelers. Here we go. Paris, what you got? He's going to say Titans. He's a Ravens fan.
I'm going to have to say Titans. There's reasons other than that, but
Go on.
Yeah.
if
What's your reason? Tony Romo's the quarterback?
if they keep losing every single game from here on out, the Ravens might get to the top, and we might get playoffs.
Might, yeah. 4
we
and 5,
both-
right?
yeah.
4 and 6, something like that. Some
Well, we
way
don't
down
play
in the
it.
bunker, the AFC North. No, I can't even. The Bengals and the Browns, man, they're even worse.
Still looking down at the Giants, so
Yeah.
I'll stop talking about them.
Rams and Vikings in this game. I have to take. I'm calling an upset here. Jared Goff and the Rams are going to make a statement against the Vikings. Show they really do deserve to be towards the top. I really believe in that. Todd Gurley is going to have a big game.
I agree with you. You took the words on about Todd Gurley's show. The Rams are for real. They and their defense is underrated too. I feel like the Viking offense has been playing a little over its head. I don't think Case Keenum's is good, and I think Rams in a dome, even though it's on the road, it's I like the Rams. This is gonna be a shootout though. This is gonna be first to 30 wins, but I think the Rams pull it out.
I think I got to give a shout out to Sean McVay too. He's really turned Jared Goff into a real quarterback.
I saw the stat the other day. They had the worst yards per game last year to now they have the most. So I mean, that's to go from worst to
insane.
first in
Yeah.
1 year is wild with the exact same guys, really. I mean, minus Sammy Watkins, but that's
Right.
pretty impressive.
Paris, we got to get you talking a little bit here. How about who are you taking? Rams, Vikings.
I'll go with the crowd Rams. What was their ranking this week for?
Power rankings?
Yeah, the
They were
power
number
rank.
2.
Oh.
Eagles are number 1.
Well, of course the Eagles are number one.
But the Vikings have quarterback issue. Well, not really. Case Keenum's playing really well right now, but like they have Teddy Bridgewater sitting behind, and Sam Bradford's going to be coming
That'll be
back
interesting
from
too. I
injury.
wonder what they're going to do with Bridgewater. I mean,
Yeah.
Keenum's got him going pretty well, and you
Well,
want
as
to mix
soon
up,
as-
the, mix
I
up the
think as-
mojo here. I don't know if you want.
I think as soon as Keenum starts, just like the Tyrod Taylor story, has one bad game, they're going to pull the plug. Redskins versus Saints. I got to take the Saints, unfortunately. I really want to see the Redskins like at least have some kind of competition in the playoffs, but I feel like this isn't just. It's just
Saints
not.
are also coming off a huge win.
They are
They
against the
scored
Bills.
a lot of.
Yeah.
The Saints used to be able to throw the ball, had no defense. Now they run the ball 40 times a game
Right.
and have a stout defense. It's a
Exactly.
very
Like,
weird.
it's a
It's
total
not your typical Saints team, but they're balanced, and they're a team that I think. They're looking like a playoff team at this point, obviously. If they get in, they're a team that's built to win in the playoffs. They can run the ball. They have shutdown corner. They have good defense. I think Washington, they are getting guys back, like you mentioned before,
Right.
but I just think top to bottom, Saints at home are just tough in that building. Like with their pass defense, the Redskins, the one area they're still a little banged up in is at receiver. So I like the Saints in this one.
Quick question for you: do you think the Saints are Super Bowl contenders?
Oh, I do. Absolutely.
You really do. You
I do.
fully 100% believe
I mean,
that.
I think in the playoffs you need to be able to run the ball and play good defense, and I think that's the one thing the Saints have been missing the last couple of years. They could score 30 with anybody, but they'd give up 40, and this year they're not doing that.
Right.
They turn the ball, they force turnovers. They've been scoring a lot of defensive touchdowns, and at home they've been on fire. So if they get to the point where they're hosting home playoff games, I mean, they're going to be a tough out.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about home playoff games. Eagles Cowboys. The bell might ring here in a little bit. Eagles Cowboys. I'm taking the Eagles. I just no questions asked. Even
Yeah.
on the road, they're a hot team right now. There's no going against the Eagles there.
I think we saw what the Cowboys were without Ezekiel Elliott last week, and I think it was not pretty.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are just on a roll. Every time you think, they play a tough defense. With Denver the other week, they just put up 40, and the Cowboys secondary might be worse than Tennessee secondary. So I think it's going to be Carson Wentz and company. Big on Sunday.
I have to agree with you. Carson Wentz is playing MVP style here. And then Monday Night Football, Falcons versus Seahawks. I'm coming out with a shocker here, boys. Falcons.
That's what I was gonna say.
Really? How come?
They
Tony
won.
Romo's not the quarterback?
Oh, maybe. Oh, you know what? They're a little shook up from that Super Bowl. Huh?
Well, okay.
Are they gonna be able to take also the extremely loud crowd known as the Seahawks?
Yeah. So okay, that's one good point to point out here is that the Seahawks have an extremely loud fan base, and that definitely shakes up things. But the Falcons are coming off a huge win against the Cowboys. Nobody saw it coming. That's why I say Falcons.
I'm going to play devil's advocate right now. Does that mean the Falcons are good or the Cowboys stink?
Ooh.
Cowboys.
Okay.
Because
well,
that was a huge. The score 27-7 was an unexpected score there. I'm going to side with, but I think that speaks more to where the Cowboys are right now than where the Falcons are. I think the Falcons pulled one out of their hat on Sunday, but I don't think they're that good. I think they caught the Cowboys at the right time, and had a good matchup with Julio Jones and that Dallas secondary. I think Seattle, as Paris said, at home, that crowd Monday night is going to be insane. And I feel like Seattle, every time they're in a primetime game, wins big. I don't have any facts to back that up, but I think their crowd, get the 12th man going on Monday night, is going to be. I think they pull away second half and win that game.
all right. Well, we appreciate you coming back for another great episode of 4 Down Territory. This was episode 7. Episode 8 will be up next Friday. Follow us on Twitter at 4DownT. Follow the J-Law Advocate to see more. He retweets all our stuff all the time. This is the guy right here behind the phone, behind the texting.
I apologize
keys.
for your notifications this week. Everyone's phones have been smoking the last 3 days as All-America pictures and Tacky Tourist pictures get tweeted out left and right, so I apologize in advance for that.
Hey, that's Spirit Week, man. That's Spirit Week.
It
for
is.
you.
You guys have been going hard. It's great. I love it.
All right, and also check us out on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is JLHS Eagle Eye News, no spaces. Another channel will come up, so do not space, no capitals. And we appreciate, once again, you listening. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next Friday.
See you guys.
7 weeks running.